Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. Hot or cold, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles, compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles, go take care of your business. Success Chronicles, it's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with the Hangout and Highlight session. Today, I'm pretty excited to be hanging out with these two special people and truly excited to highlight what they do. I think they are great folks. I think they add lots of value to our world. I'm so thankful to be connected with them, and I just wanted to give them an opportunity to, talk about who they are and let you know what they do and what their mission is and what they're about. So first off, Millie, Tambo, and Quinn Ferrall, I want to tell you guys thanks so much for taking the time to hang out and be highlighted on the Success Chronicles.
Well, thank you so much, Chip, for having us here. I'm literally looking forward to hanging out and getting the chance to talk and introduce you to my friend Millie, and just talk about what we're up to. Because, like you said, it's making a difference, and I'm excited to share this message with her and you and the rest of your audience. So, thank you for taking your time to invite us here.
Yes, sir. All right, well, we'll start with you, Miss Millie. If you don't mind, just kind of share with the audience, who you are and what it is you do.
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you so much for having us here. It's such an honor to be invited to speak. And my name is Millie Tambo. I am an educator. I'm also founder for Confidence Elevates, which was basically started to bridge the gap in cognitive skills, help our kids to be confident, and so that they can reach out to the world, basically. So we were excited just to start a little small mentorship program to help our kids. And so we connected with Quinn because I was, looking for just different ways to help my students. And so we are now involved with Nobel.
Okay. Well, Quinn, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
So I'm Quinn. Yeah, some of y'all may recognize me, Chip, and I've had a chance to talk. My background's in engineering, but I've gravitated more towards humaneering. So, to me, it's not just the science of what we do; it's the heart that we bring to what we do, and it's the emotional intelligence and the people behind the processes and the things that we're doing. And so, I think Chip with his success formula, there's a lot of things that we resonate on. We've had some of these good conversations, and I know, you're down in Houston, Millie's in Dallas, I'm in Chicago. And I think just, with what Millie talked about was Nobel Explorers, and it's a program that we have. I traditionally, my background working in engineering, and then now the coaching and the stuff that I do is generally with adults, and helping them kind of, reconnect with the emotional side, especially engineers. It's not something we naturally do, although naturally as kids, we all do. And that's one of the things that's just really exciting because, whereas I'm working with 38-year-olds to 40-year-olds, we're working with, 8 to 10-year-olds. And, you see these kids really don't have a lot of the hangups that we have as adults. And, they're able to, give feedback and get constructive criticism, ask questions, not be embarrassed. And so, these things where it's like, we as adults kind of have to, break them out of their shell. That shell really hasn't formed when you're with the kids. And so the program itself that Millie and I are working on together is called Nobel Explorers. It's a STEM and soft skills camp for kids that kind of exist outside of traditional school. So the fun part is you come together to learn how to code a website. And then, through working on this project for 2 weeks, then you have, the ability to say, hey, not only do I learn how to do a website, but I'm learning teamwork. I'm learning how to, some of the soft skills and things we were just talking about. The other cool part is we're truly worldwide. And so, a lot of the kids, Millie's originally from Kenya. The kids that she knows back there are part of the program. We have kids in Romania. We have kids in Ukraine. We have kids in the UK, Israel, South America, Canada. I mean, I'm probably missing a couple, Millie, but,
Texas.
Yeah, Texas. Well, Texas, yeah, it's his own country, right? Yeah, can't forget the the world of Texas. So so the cool part is, and it's something that is near and dear and top of mind for everybody. I mean, this diversity inclusion that people act like is something you have to do on top of it. It's just baked in. I mean, it's what we do. I mean, it's a flat world. And, we are trying to really build a global community where these kids, again, we're learning how to code a website. That's going to be whether you code a website here, you code it in, in Africa, or you code it in Europe. I mean, the coding is all the same, but the kids that you're doing it with and the things that you're trying to do. And, it's just fun to see these kids relate in a way that, we don't have to say, hey, get along. It's like they naturally do it, and there's just this excitement for what they do. And so, it just, I get passionate about it, but those are the kind of things that what we're trying to do is really, STEM skills are important, but really beyond STEM skills, it's teaching kids to be lifelong learners. And a lot of times, the school systems are set up, we have these, assessment tests that we have to take, and there's these other skills that kind of come on, and, that these are the things that, we want to help kids be better students, but better leaders for life, and trying to bring all of these things together in a way that, allows them to kind of get, being beyond the world that they exist in. The interesting thing about the program is, we start with a free coding class. And so, that doesn't mean, if you have internet access, you have access to our program. And so like we've done work with inner city schools in Philadelphia. We've done work with, kids, like I said, in Kenya. There's kids in, all over the place. And, if you have that internet connection, sometimes it's people sharing an internet connection, which is great, because I mean, that's what it, that's what it takes. I mean, it sounds crazy, but, I'm not that old, but I went to play football with a guy in college who didn't have electricity till his senior year of high school. I mean, there's parts of the world, even in the States that, aren't, advanced, but like, being able to bring this program to those areas, and just kind of connect all these people together. So it just, in a nutshell, that's kind of what the program is. And I'll let Millie talk a little bit more about how she's seen it, because she's had some really neat, some of the stories, some of the kids that have come through that she's connected with, and what they've been able to, the transformation that they've seen, and compared to what she before, and then what they've done since they've become part of Nobel. It's just been really exciting to see it all come together.
Awesome. Miss Millie, you want to give us some examples of some of the things that's going on in the program?
Yes, like as a coach right now, so when we talk about transformation, it's one thing to say a program is doing this. You can read about it, but to be in the middle of it and see the transformation. I think I shared before about how I used to teach kids in a very poor neighborhood, and people used to think my kids cannot succeed. And I was like, no, these kids will do the math, and they will transform, and they will break the cycles. And I have stories of kids who have, intrinsically motivated to do the subject, and at the end of it, they loved math. So when I saw these kids, and they're in Kenya, and at first when I was introduced to Nobel, I was thinking, how are they going to do? But then I was reminded, if you give kids the environment to do, and just help them just to believe in themselves, there is nothing these kids cannot do. It doesn't matter what neighborhood, what country. If they're given that environment to succeed, they will. So when we enroll the kids in May, when I was introduced to the program, so I introduced the kids in May. And now if you see the kids, and they can talk to themselves, because they present the skills that are, we are teaching those skills in graduate school level, and how to give feedback, receive feedback. And these kids can easily give feedback to one another without having feelings or just mad. And it's a diverse, we're talking about diversity. These kids are representing what we want in the world today. They're working in teamwork, they're in different parts of the world, they've never met, and they are able to create a website. And it just blows my mind. I was just like, I wish every school district, I wish every after-school program would have a program like this to just help them. We're talking about 21st century skills, and they're doing it. So if there's kids from Kenya, and they're collaborating with somebody in Texas, somebody in Australia, it's just powerful to watch, because I see it every Sunday. They always have an expo every Sunday. and the kids are able to share what they've learned, and you ask questions. So it's not something that's staged, it's something that's happening, and they're sharing their experiences.
That's awesome. As I hear both of you guys talk about the experiences that the kids are having, and I see your excitement and your passion, which is great because I have that same excitement and passion too.
Yeah.
But just it makes me think about it. Quinn, you and I have had this conversation about the whole college experience, football, whatever, and just having the ability to be around people that are different, and
Right.
And the beauty of that, and how much you learn so much about other people, other cultures, other ways of doing things. I mean, you just get better because you're immersed in that. And so, what you guys are doing, not only are you allowing that, like we were just at a college, like we stepped out of our normal box of where we were raised and we went to a college, but what you're doing is like it's worldwide. So now these are kids that are getting the opportunity to have communication and contact with people from all over the world. Man, how cool is that?
It's the best.
I tell you, it's funny because I look at, living in Chicago, and I have friends who aren't here, even around the world. They're like, man, Chicago is great. And I was like, I said, yeah, there are some crazy parts of Chicago, but if you want to know what Chicago is, and every time I tell them, like, go look at the Chicago Children's Choir. My son sings in that. All 52 neighborhoods in the city are represented. And when you see all those kids come together and you want to know what the power of the city is, that's what the power of the city is. And to look at, I don't care. There's issues, whatever country, we all have problems. There are things going on in this world, whether it's environmental, socio-economic. I mean, these things exist. But beyond that, there's a rich fabric. There's people, there's stories, there's lives being lived in all these places. And if you're just watching the news and you're just, paying attention, you're not getting the whole story. And so the other part of this is we're getting the story behind the story, and we're getting exposure to that. And we're allowing these kids, again, the program, the other interesting part about it is, so they come in as students, and then if they get identified as leaders, then there's a leadership track that happens with the way the program goes. And so they're actually kids helping to co-teach other kids. And it's that, it's immersive, right? If you want to learn something, teach it. The best way to, there's one thing to read a book. There's another thing, you take a test, but then when you start having to teach somebody else the level which you have to understand something. And so that's where the interaction and the empowerment comes from. I mean, there's kids who come in saying, I thought I hated coding, or, I didn't like computers, or, and Millie and Laugh, we're working on a math program right now because, most kids are taught math, just remember an equation. Well, it's not about, seeing how much you can remember. It's about understanding that it's a language, and how do you learn that language so that you can tell these stories. And it's just, there's lots of different ways. I think what we look at is, we get fixed in this idea that there's one way to teach, or there's one way to do it, or there's one test that tells everybody, oh, you're either smart or you're not smart. And, and we know that doesn't exist. I've got, knowledge now is a commodity. I've got it right here. I mean, this is my knowledge box, but can I access the knowledge, and do I know how to use that knowledge? And I know how to relate to other people, because it's really that creativity and collaboration that we need now. We don't need to, hey, can I remember, a date from 100 years ago, or, what is this? It's like, no. Can I access that answer, and can I apply it to the people and the situations that are around me? And that's the skills that we're teaching. And you see it. I mean, there's kids, I mean, just being on these Zoom calls. I mean, I've got adults who are, it's, this is the world, right? I mean, this is how, 90% of my business gets done now, in this manner. And these kids are learning this when they're, in middle school, and so just think where they're going to be, the 10 years from now, and what's funny is some of the 14-year-old kids, they're saying, oh, I wish I knew that when I was 10. And like, there's a 14-year-old saying, I wish I knew, I'm like, I wish I knew when I was 14, right? I wish I was 24, there's stuff that they're picking up. And so, it's just neat to see. I think, when we take the expectation off of, it has to be this way, right? We always talk about growth mindset, and you hear about this, but then we have this conversation. Then you go to school, and what happens? They put the lid right back on it. You know, we actually have an opportunity here to keep the lid off and see what happens. And what's been really, you know, empowering and amazing to see is the kids are already pushing themselves to say, hey, can I teach a class about this, or can I do this? This is what came out of this for me. This is what I'm interested in. And you see, wow, we're not giving them, you know, it's not just one class. It's not how do you make a website. It's how do you learn about a subject? How do you learn so much that you can teach that subject to another person, and how do you relate? And so they're getting those skills that, you know, are transferable beyond just any one subject. And so any problem they come to in life, they're going to be able, well, let me figure out what it is. Let me figure out how to convey that to somebody else. And then how can I apply it to the people that I care about? You know, and it's like, wow, like that is what I want to know. I mean, that tells me more about how successful you're going to be than, you know, did you get a certain number on a standardized test?
Love it, man. Love that analogy. Love the example. And it's so true. Just the growth. Well, you know, before we get off, I want to give you guys an opportunity to, you know, let the audience know where they can go, you know, check it out and follow you guys and show you some love of what you have going on.
Well, I'm on LinkedIn, so you can find me, you know, Quinn Ferrall on LinkedIn. I would say the other place is, and I'll send you this just to put it in the thing, but it's nobelexplorers.com is the website, and I would just say, you know, go there, take a deep dive. You know, the expos that Millie's talking about, the websites that the kids have created, there's actually a site, I mean, a link on the homepage where you can see these websites. And I mean, it just blows me away. I mean, it's some of the kids are bringing in, like, what's their favorite food from their country that they're from, you know, what's their, what's the music that they're into. But then there's, like, you know, how do we get plastic out of the oceans? I mean, there's just, you can just see the range of, you know, and the fun part is we don't tell them what to make a website about. They just get to pick, and you just see these things that naturally come up. So nobelexplorers.com. Find me on LinkedIn, and then Millie, where should we go look for you?
You can look for me on Twitter, Millie Tambo on Twitter. That's where I share all the stuff that I do. And I'm on Nobel Explorers too. So you can find us at Millie_Tambo, and we're happy to connect with anybody.
We have a Facebook page as well too, Chip, if they want to go. If they're on Facebook, they can check that out. We do advertise some of the Explorer Expos and some of the stuff that's on there. So definitely, a good place to kind of see what's going on with Nobel. And if they link on there, we'll make sure that they get it. But I just want to reiterate this first. You know, you don't have to know anything about coding. You don't have to. I mean, it is really come one, come all, and that first class is free, and it's just in a way to expose you to a different way of learning, a different way of meeting people from around the world. I mean, it's just, really, it's about a community where learning is fun, and it's in a way that, you know, there are no rules other than you show up, you're a good human being, and then the learning just happens, right? And so I don't want to oversimplify it or make it sound like it's so simple, but it really gets down to, you know, it starts with that foundation of, you know, we're doing the right thing, and by, you know, being open to the experience, then the learning comes in, you know, and that's what so many people get restricted to say, well, I'm not this kind of person, I'm not that kind of person. You are all learners. We just got to figure out how it is that who we resonate and how we resonate with it. So let's, just give it a shot.
Awesome. Well, again, I want to say, man, thank you guys so much for coming on and hanging out with me. You know, had to highlight you guys because I wholeheartedly believe in what you do. I think it's awesome. I think you guys are amazing people. And, you know, we can't get enough of that in our world, right?
No.
You know, and I think when we can spread that and just all that other stuff doesn't matter. What matters is being a great human and connecting and learning and growing together. And that's what you guys are doing. So thank you for your efforts. And those of you that are watching, please, go check it out and show them some love and support in what they're doing. And let's help these kids.
Thank you.
Amen. Thank you, Chip. I appreciate everything that you do. I mean, every week I learn from you every week. Always fun to see you in my inbox, and appreciate the work that you do. And again, just giving us the opportunity to share this message with you.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you guys for checking out this Hangout and Highlight session. We'll see you next time. God bless.
God bless you too. Thank you.
Go get it.